We're all in business for a reason. The problem that so many small business owners have is they go in 10 million different directions, not really sure which way to go. Listen as your team of experts, Jennifer Glass and Patricia Rezzatello, go through what you need in your business to really make it stand out and benefit you. Because it's the bottom line that matters. Hello, and welcome to another episode of It's the Bottom Line That Matters podcast. We are dedicated to your success. On our show today, we are going to be continuing with our social media lead generation campaigns. But before we do that, I want to thank you for listening and checking us out. If this is your first time listening, thank you. If you are a returning listener, thank you so much for your loyal listenership. So as I said in the beginning, today we are going to be talking about Pinterest and using Pinterest to generate leads in our business. If you think about Pinterest, Pinterest is where you pin specific things to different boards, and that makes up your particular profile. And you can share them in different places. Many people can share the exact same pin across the internet on Pinterest. As an example, one of the things, and this is how I first really got introduced to the platform, was I needed a couple of recipes. How did I do it? I went over to Pinterest and I found them. But there's so much that we can be doing with Pinterest, and they even allow you to have a buy button in the post, which is something a lot of platforms really don't allow you to do. But Patricia, let me ask you with Pinterest, what has been your experience, A, as a user, and B, seeing any marketing? Because I know you haven't marketed yet on Pinterest.
Yeah, I've mostly used it. I marketed a teensy little bit a number of years ago. Um, Not much. I also did not know much of what I was doing when I was doing it. So if I was going to use it for that, one, it so the one thing that I do know is that a pin has a much longer lifespan, basically a post, right? Has a much longer lifespan there than it does virtually anywhere else online. Um, so either my recommendation is one or two things. One, find somebody who knows what they're doing on Pinterest and hire them and have them help you do it or do it for you. Or B, find somebody who's teaching how to use Pinterest and go take their class.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things I would say though about Pinterest is think of it like your website. What do I mean by that? Just like you pay attention to the keywords and the search engine optimization work that you would do for your website, you want to be doing the same exact thing for your pins. Don't just write, oh, what a great brownie recipe that this is. If you're trying to sell a cookbook, you're not going to want to just say great brownie recipe. You're going to want to
Yeah.
have some sort of additional keywords built in there. As an example, gluten-free, low fat, low sugar, low carb, kosher, paleo, keto, whatever kind of things you want to be putting in there. The more keywords that are in the particular pin and the captions that you're using with it, the more likely, like Patricia was saying, it can be found. These pins do stay online pretty much forever until you remove them from your profile. And the other thing that you can also do too is you can even have rich pins, meaning that it will look at information on your website to keep it up to date. So if you have pricing information listed, you can have it based on whatever your website is at. You can bring that over into the pin. So if today when you post it, let's just say something is $10, but 3 months down the road, that price goes to $13. You don't want somebody still seeing $10 and expecting they're going to be getting it at $10. So that rich
No.
pin allows it to automatically update to the 13 which is the
Yeah,
price that it's now at when they see it. So that's one of the big benefits that Pinterest does allow you to do over some of the other platforms.
that is pretty neat. Yeah.
It's kind of like dynamic keywords on search. If you
Hmm.
think about dynamic keywords, and we're
Yeah.
going completely off of social media here for a second, but I want to illustrate what I mean by that. Let's take a chocolate company, right? There's one particular major chocolate company that everybody probably knows of. They used to have retail shops. They no longer do, unfortunately. My kids used to love their stuff. Anytime we went to the mall, that would be one of the places we had to stop at so that they can get something. Without saying their name, you can probably figure out who I'm talking about now. But they sell a lot of different kinds of chocolate. So, how did they set up information when you're searching? If I just say chocolate, all right, do I want dark chocolate, milk chocolate, white chocolate, 70% cacao, 90% cacao, rich dark chocolate? All of these kinds of variables. You understand what I'm saying here? These are all things that you can put in as a dynamic keyword when you're looking at doing information with search. You can be doing a lot in the same way with social, not to the same level, but you can be doing an awful lot as you think about how you're looking at what it is that you are doing. And again, remember on Pinterest, bringing it back to Pinterest, the links, like I said before, Pinterest is one of those that you really can put a link with the post and you can drive traffic to that particular post. So, one of the things that I have done is I have put a lot of content out over the years where I drive the traffic back over to my website. And that allows me to keep the connection from what is there and where I may want the traffic to be going. Think about what you are doing too in that regard and how you make it work. One of the things I will say is infographics, believe it or not, really have a huge value even on Pinterest, right? The more information you can be putting out there, especially when it's relevant, people are going to want to connect and see it and then maybe want to talk to you because they want to have an additional conversation. So that is one of those things that you really want to be thinking about on the platform. You ever see infographics on there, Patricia?
On Pinterest, maybe sort of kind of. I'm not currently really active on Pinterest, so I don't remember other than list type things.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
But templates and checklists, like you said, are big on Pinterest too,
yes, they
right?
are.
There's an immediate use for templates and checklists, whereas infographics is something that I can look at, understand, and possibly implement down the road. Templates and checklists, I can think of how do I use that much closer to now as opposed to later. So that's certainly one of those things we can think about. So as we wrap up our conversation on using Pinterest, any final thoughts, Patricia?
It's kind of like anything else. Um, i- it's being its main characteristic is that the content stays there a very long time and it has a specific sort of demographic, which at least used to be primarily women, and I think it still might be mostly women. If it fits into your strategy, um, don't just wing it. Find somebody to help you do it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely 100%. Like Patricia said, if it fits, make sure that you know what you're doing and go from there. On that note, this has been another episode of It's the Bottom Line That Matters. And until next time, here is to your success. Thanks so much for listening to another amazing episode of It's the Bottom Line That Matters podcast. We're all about helping the small business community grow and reaching as many people as we can. And the algorithms on the podcast programs love reviews. So if you loved what you just heard, consider leaving us a review. And even if you don't, I'm sure you already did, but consider sharing our episodes and our podcast with your friends and colleagues. Sharing is caring, and here's to your success. Thanks so much, and have a wonderful day.
It's the bottom line that matters.